And that was the year the Palma Boat Show was cancelled.
You've really nailed it in terms of how it worked.
90 motor, 10 sail. Boat shows have to change. They have to, over the years, things change. How many motor yacht shipyards are there and how many sailing yacht shipyards are there? We want to have, it must be boat show for everybody. It's amazing. It's Walt Disney paradise.
Hi, I'm Brandon from Browns International, and today on the Yacht Show we have Arne Ploch, who is the director of the Palma Superyacht Village. So it's really exciting to have you here, Arne.
Hi, Brandon. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, we do our best. It's always great to have great guests on that can bring a bit of information and value as to what this does, because I think we were just talking about this before we started rolling, but Palma Boat Show has gone through Palma Super Yacht Show has gone through loads of different changes since its inception, and it's really cool to see what it's become today, where it almost feels a little bit like a mini can, maybe even in some ways better in terms of being able to access and get around, etc. So yeah, it's really quite impressive.
Yeah, we're working on that. It's
going
in the right direction.
It's getting there, exactly. So we're gonna go through some questions. I mean, again, I know a little bit about this as we've just been discussing. What's your background? Where did you start in yachting rather than the actual boat shows?
Yachting. I'm a broker. I'm selling boats like you.
Yeah.
Started when I was young after university and went into one of the big companies, and I'm still there and always trying to sell bigger and bigger boats. Very stable, very, that's the way it goes normally.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully. I mean, the idea is always to sell more and bigger boats. It's always the concept that we all strive for.
Yeah.
And then from that, where did the idea to make the Super Yacht Village come from?
Okay, well, it happened. Look, I mean, being a Palma-based broker,
yeah,
and I'm a broker since 30 years in Palma.
Yeah.
You went to Monaco, you go to Cannes, you go to Fort Lauderdale. You always travel for boat shows. There was a Palma boat show at that time, but it was a local boat show with small boats. So we never had a boat show at home. So to have a boat show at home it's a nice thing.
Yeah,
so
it's like an away game versus a home game.
Palma is a center of a nautical center, no? It's
absolutely
definitely center of sailing yachts worldwide. I would say there's no other center of sailing yachts like Palma, and Palma had no boat show. So we were looking into how to promote Palma more and how to what we could do, and it happened more or less by accident, the whole thing, because a friend of mine, Mark Hendler, who was at that time at Ocean Independence, came up with the idea: why don't we join together and do an open day? But an open day a little bit bigger, an open day which will be actually 3 open days.
Mm-hmm.
And another friend of mine, Nani Mas from Port Adriano, who just started with the marina, and the marina was quite empty at that time, said, look, here you have a marina. Why don't you do it in Port Adriano?
Okay.
And so we started to organize this open day, and suddenly we had 25 yachts for 3 days in Port Adriano. We had some entertaining around it. We had partners. Suddenly we had a little boat show in Port Adriano. And that was the year the Palma Boat Show was cancelled. The whole boat show was cancelled this year. It was 2008, I guess it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was nobody any longer interested in the Palma Boat Show. It was an old boat show. It was boat shows have to change. They have to over the years things change.
Yeah,
and they were just stuck, and they had to cancel the boat show because there were not enough exhibitors. We did the boat show in Port Adriano. Well, the open day.
Sure. Which sounds like a very special open. I mean, if you can have 25
listings. Port Adriano was full for the first time.
Wow.
So that was quite a thing at that time.
Absolutely.
And then the Gobierno, the ED at that time, the Ministry of Industry of the Balearic Islands,
sure,
which runs the Palma Boat Show, contacted me and said, why don't you bring that from Port Adriano to Palma? And we joined forces and make a new concept, make a different boat show. And that's where we started to work together between the public sector, the private sector, to make Palma a different boat show. And from then, it's just went on, and we started here with 30, 40 boats. And today we are at 65 yachts over 24 meter in this area, in the traditional Palma Boat Show area. And we opened up the new area in the Club de Mar, the new build hub.
Yeah, and that was the next thing I wanted to go on to. I think kind of jumping forward, I think Palma has become, as a brokerage and as both in the time frame that it sits, because obviously it's pre-season, which is really, really nice, because most boat shows tend to be, other than the US ones, they tend to be end of season, etc. So this is a really nice touch point. Even if it's not perhaps, or even if you're not going to look to buy, it's a great way to get inspired, to look at things, and also for us as brokers to all get together, chat, and see what's going on. Of course, as you just said, the new build hub. Where did you see, or why did you see the need to add that to the show at Club de Mar, which I know you've got a really good tender service going back and forth? What was the need to bring that in, and what does it actually do for the show?
Well, just to come back on something you just mentioned, timing.
Yeah.
Boat show is in April.
Yeah.
So there are shipyards who still have boats on stock.
Sure.
You can buy a boat now and enjoy it for the summer.
Sure.
So it's a perfect timing for a boat show. While all the other boat shows are in September, which is it's a different thinking behind it, because it's when you spend the summer on your boat, you're still in boating mood, and you think, oh, my boat is too small, what's around? I need something bigger, something smaller. But we are actually before the season.
Mm-hmm.
So we have lots of interest from shipyards as well.
Absolutely.
And brokerage, definitely. We always have, from our side, brokerage was the main focus, not the shipyards. But the brokerage clients come from shipyards, but it's also the other way around. You have a brokerage client and he decides to go to a shipyard, and you guide him the way, you help him to buy a new boat. So we had lots of interest from the shipyards and limited space. So we thought we have to grow, and the only way is to grow somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And the opportunity came up with the Club de Mar. We spoke with them. They were happy to collaborate and become a partner in this whole venture. Yeah. And we have an area now which can grow, which is just the beginning, basically.
Which is really cool. That is just the beginning. And obviously you've been over there multiple times yourself. Yeah. How are you seeing the reception from the shipyards? Because this year it's so far this year it's sailing yachts only in this area. Yes,
it's sailing yachts. So far it's sailing yachts only. We will see where it goes. It depends what the market demands. If it stays sailing yachts, if we do a separate area for motor yachts, there are all sort of options. You have to think what's the most interesting, what do people really like and look for. But the perception was very positive. We all knew this is a test. It's a year one. It's year zero, basically. Yeah. We see how it works. And so far, I think everybody's very happy. It's a different show from here. It's a different level. It's a different visitor. It's quieter over there. Yeah. But it's more selected. And that's what the shipyards were actually looking for. Yeah, this kind of quality. Exactly, quality clients, more specialized clients. Well, this year it's a show. It's a boat show. I mean, you can buy a ticket, you can come in, you can have a look around. Yes. You can have lunch with your family. Exactly, you have a nice day. But that was also the idea here, to be open to the public. Sure. To get people into yachting, to show them what it's all about. Many people have no idea how nice yachting really is. Absolutely. But going back to the new build hub, I think you've really nailed it in terms of how it works, because now what you can do as a broker, you can bring the client in, you can have a nice lunch, you can have a look around some brokerage yachts. You say, come with me, you jump on a tender, you shoot over, and you get almost an exclusive private viewing of a new build yacht in probably with the only opportunity you're ever going to have to see it in the water with the specialist of the brand there, etc. I think it's a really cool thing, and I'm sure if we have this same conversation in 5 years' time, let's see what I mean. I hope it will be the same thing with motor yachts, because at the end of the day, I think it's a market. It's a market. The market is 90 motor, 10 sail. That's the way around. Yeah, which I always find is a fascinating stat, actually, because you see, I mean, in Palma we do see a lot of sailing boats. It's not something that I know a lot about. I know you know a lot more than I do in this aspect. I know that they have some masts, and that's about it. Yes. But I think from a sailing yacht perspective, it is a really strong show. It is the strongest show. Yeah. There's no other show where you find so many large sailing yachts in the world. I think. I mean, I've been on many shows, but
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you've been to most of the relevant ones.
At least on large yachts, you will not find a show like that for sailing yachts. Palma is a center of sailing yachts.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it. I mean, there's no other place where you find so many sailing yachts like in Palma. And it's definitely not the 10% here. What's but the numbers worldwide are these. How many motor yacht shipyards are there, and how many sailing yacht shipyards are there? You wouldn't know, but there are very few sailing yacht shipyards these days. It's down to 3, 4, 5, 6 yachts.
Yeah,
that's it. That's who build large sailing yachts.
No, I think it is, and there's some beautiful stuff on display here. I have had a look around some. Maybe I don't understand them very well, but I've had a look around some.
There's some amazing stuff.
There's
the Club de Mar. If you go in the Club de Mar and you're into sailing, it's amazing. It's Walt Disney paradise.
Yeah, well, again, we came back to it. You don't get it anywhere else. I mean, there is no way of getting that comparison, I guess, in any shape or form. No, I think, and obviously the one thing that we always find, or that we've discussed this before, you always have this limitation of space with where we are in terms of the brokerage show, in terms of the new boat show here. So I guess Club de Mar basically opens the possibilities for it to be a little bit more limitless in terms of what you could make it into.
Absolutely. We finally here we're limited on size and even more limited by draft.
Yeah.
And the problem with sailing yachts is they have a keel underneath.
Absolutely.
And for example, where we're here right now in this area, we only have 2 meter depths.
Yeah.
Large sailing yachts these days have 3 meter 50, 4 meter 50 keels.
Absolutely.
So we only have a small area here at the end towards STP area where we can place large sailing yachts. So here we couldn't grow on sailing yachts. So we have the motor yachts here and large sailing yachts over there. Also lengthwise, we can fit boats up to 50, 55 meter.
Yeah.
We had 1 year, we had a 65 meter motor yacht in here, but it blocked basically the whole
thing.
entrance. Yeah. And even today, we have on one side a 55 meter, on the other side a 50 meter, and it's very tight. It's on its limits, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, as I say, I think it's great. I mean, wrapping it up slightly, have you got any big plans that you can share for the coming year? Is there anything that you want to change?
Look, I mean, we always try to grow slowly. This has to fall automatically in its place.
Sure.
You cannot force it. It's like a broker looking for boats for sale.
Mm-hmm.
You sell the boats, you can get.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
Absolutely.
We are a boat show. We have a nice concept, which I trust it works.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 1 year, we have smaller boats. The next year we have larger boats. It's depends what the market is doing, what's on the market, and how keen are people to sell, and what's in the area as well. You will not bring your boat from Turkey down here to just for a boat show, no. So it's boats that are in the area, which sailing yachts coming back from the Caribbean now. We have some brand new yachts which were just delivered.
Yeah.
They just made it to the boat show, brand new yachts, 144 meter, 138 meters. So it's all timing. It's we don't know, but it's this range of we're starting with motorboats at 24 meter, and then up to 55, 60 meter, and in the Club de Mar we can have larger yachts. But I think it's also important to have that range. Yeah. And it's important to have the old Palma boat show here with small boats.
Of course.
Because we don't want to be only a large, we don't want to be another Monaco.
No.
We want to have, it must be a boat show for everybody.
Sure.
If you're looking for a 10 meter motorboat, a 12 meter sailing yacht, or you want to go into large yachts, it's a show for everybody. And that makes it a much more nicer show, really.
Yeah, more accessible to everybody to be able to come and enjoy it.
Friendlier, better atmosphere. Everybody loves the atmosphere of the Palma Boat Show.
Absolutely.
And it has nothing to do with with the atmosphere in Cannes, Monaco. It's different. Palma is different. And it's to do with we're in the city, we're in front of the cathedral, restaurants all around us. It's just it's a pleasure to come here. And we're in a pleasure industry. So you have to make it really nice for the people to come and to have this experience.
Yeah, I think from my side, I mean, that explains exactly what this is. I think we can wrap that up knowing that we've got a really cool base going into next year and years to come. And I think that at the end of the day, I do genuinely believe, and I feel it, you know, you have boats that travel to come here to be on display because it genuinely does add value to your boats and your listings that are for sale. Yes. So as a broker, I think it's great. I think you should keep doing what you're doing. And we thank you so much for coming on and having a chat with us.
Brandon, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy to share.
Cheers.
Ciao.